Call to order the Village of Oxford Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, July 19th, 2016. So could we get a call to order? And that was it. Respects to the flag. If we all would, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, would you note the roll, please?
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Curtis.
Here.
Commissioner Deeg is absent. Chair Duval is excused. Commissioner Douglas.
Here.
Commissioner Helmuth.
Here.
Commissioner Staley is absent.
Would you like a motion to excuse Commissioners Deeg and Duval?
I would look for that motion, please.
I'll move to excuse Commissioner Deeg and Commissioner Duval from the July 19th regular Planning Commission meeting.
And Commissioner
I would
Staley.
second that. What about Staley?
Didn't call in, so can't excuse her.
Okay. I would second the motion as tendered.
A motion by Helmuth, second by Douglas. I'd look for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Hearing none, the motion passed. Approval of the agenda.
If there's no changes, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I would second it.
Thank you.
Motion by Helmuth, seconded by, excuse me, Douglas. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Approval of the minutes, regular meetings of June 21st and July 5th, 2016 for the Village of Oxford Planning Commission regular meetings.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we accept the amended minutes from the June 21st meeting as submitted.
Support?
Second.
Got a motion and I got a support. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none. You didn't include July 5th in that motion, I don't think, did you?
No.
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. So I'll look for the minutes of July 5th to be approved.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 5th, 2016 regular meeting.
Second that.
Okay, motion by Helmuth, moved by Johnson, seconded by Johnson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Number 6, correspondence. Everybody have a chance to go through all the correspondence?
Joe, I had a quick question on the ordinance officer's report. He lists the marketplace. I'm not going to find it now. He was just making a general look. Then it says removed. Okay, that'd be great. Other than that, I'll make a motion to receive and file the correspondence.
I would second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Helmuth and seconded by Douglas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, received and filed. Number 7, we have no presentations tonight. Number 8, we have no public hearings tonight.
Yay.
Number 9, old business. Outdoor dining suggested language, text amended for year-round options. Talking with Planner Corey, this is the first draft of the outdoor dining suggested language. We have to, anybody that's gone through and needs to make any comments, we should make those comments to Planner Corey, and he would probably then set up a public hearing. We would set up a date for a public hearing. Sure. So if everybody's read through them and 3 people aren't here, I don't know, do you want to wait till the next meeting so we have input from those 3?
I mean, I think that it probably makes sense before we schedule a public hearing to get those input. It's up to the 4 of you that are here. Would you like me to walk through the changes? I realize because they're changing bits and pieces, it may be a little confusing where everything goes, so I can walk through that if you want.
Well, we would do it for 4 and then we'll do it again for 3 next time.
It's fine with me if you want to just.
Would you like to set this aside?
Yeah, let's just set, I would look for a motion to set this aside till the other 3 members get back and have a chance to read them. Anytime you go before a set of public hearing, yes, let's wait till, it would be my suggestion, we wait till all of us are here to go through this. It's nothing pending that is burning. So I'll
Mr.
look for a
Chairman, do you
motion.
need a motion to table this until next meeting?
Set aside.
Postpone it, or set aside, yes.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
No, not yet. I just wanted to make sure I had the language right. Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we set this presentation aside and wait until our next meeting when we have a better attendance to be able to discuss this in detail.
Okay,
I will support that.
okay. Motion by Douglas. Am I saying that right, Douglas?
Sure.
It is spelled
It's spelled
incorrectly on the
wrong.
agenda.
Is it really?
Yes, and supported by Helmuth to set this aside. All those in favor state aye.
Is that aye?
Aye. Those
Aye.
opposed? Hearing none. We'll move on to the medical marijuana ordinances from other communities. And again, we had readings of 4 of the communities that have passed medical marijuana ordinances. This was for information only. Chris, do you have any other input on that?
Sure, as requested, I looked into adopted medical marijuana ordinances in Ferndale, Inkster, Warren, and Burton. Obviously, there are some details. I provided basically 1 paragraph summaries of each one in a memo, and then the actual text following. This is to give some perspective, as Mr. Danaskis said at the last meeting, action is not expected from Lansing until the fall on this. I guess my overall takeaway is that because the direction from Lansing has been so unclear, we could run off in multiple different directions with this, even while trying to allow it. So I'm having trouble coming up with a clear takeaway from these 4, because they are very different. So we can discuss that in more detail, or we can wait until we have a bigger group or more actions taken.
What's the flavor of this, Commission?
Jake, you weren't here. We had a very nice presentation.
I know.
It was a great presentation. Cleared up a lot of answers.
Yep.
Still have a lot of
He
questions.
spelled out the timeline very well and gave a status of several of the bills that were currently pending before the Michigan State Legislature, and talked about the impact of each one of those, what they covered, what they governed, and sort of what the prognosis was, if you will, for upcoming legislative session and perhaps even being signed into law before the end of the year.
We have no action on this right now, as
No.
we are still under,
A moratorium
Moratorium.
continues to be discussed, and it continues to be discussed while it continues to be discussed in Lansing. So
yes.
We're just trying to get ahead of
we
the
are
game.
trying to collect as much information as we can,
Sure.
so we can make an informed decision and have an impactful ordinance when it's clear what we are allowed and what we are not allowed to do.
Chris, are you familiar with why Ferndale and Warren don't allow dispensaries? Do they,
Well, I mean, I think the number one reason is probably because dispensaries, I suppose I've said this before, dispensaries are not illegal under the current law, but in order to operate a dispensary legally under current law, there's no way you'd make a profit.
Okay.
So I think they're just trying to avoid the idea of having them at all.
Okay.
And the other thing is that I think people are more comfortable with, okay, so it's a warehouse and they're growing on the inside, we're comfortable with that. A retail storefront opening, people going in and out, coming out with marijuana, people are less comfortable with that. I think that's generally the thought in those communities.
I'm almost caught up on watching my tapes on YouTube of, I've got the ZBAs and the village councils, and which ones are posted out there. I have not seen this PC tape from the last meeting, so I'll get caught up in time for the next meeting, but there's no action that needs to be required on this.
No.
So what's this board's pleasure?
Well, I just have a few comments, if I could. Chris, first off, I'm curious why Warren has disallowed the use of the word marijuana in their,
That
There, it says
is-
prohibiting use where, I mean, what are they standardizing on something like cannabis, or?
That is almost certainly unconstitutional. I mean, I'm not an attorney, but we just went through trying to make our sign ordinance content neutral. I don't think you can regulate what a particular word people want to put on signage. I don't know why they included that, because I think that they're going to get sued on that pretty quickly. That's my prediction. I think what they're aiming at is to try to make these as unobtrusive as possible. So they don't want people going into their industrial districts and seeing big marijuana leaves or green crosses everywhere.
Or signs that say marijuana.
Yeah, I just don't think that that's the way to address it, because I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I'm looking for something,
So everything's gonna be called ganja.
Yeah, well, they said, or associated slang.
right, so you can't call it pot either,
I
apparently.
think they're just gonna have to put up green crosses or something, which is probably going to have and I'm just speculating, but there's a possibility that has the opposite impact, because since they can't put any words out, they're gonna put really big green crosses, and, euphemisms like care center.
Yeah.
Then also, just as a sort of an aside, I think that the spelling that you've shown here is sort of the accepted standard for how it's spelled with a J rather than an H, and I think if we could standardize on that too, I'd appreciate that,
Okay.
because I see both spellings throughout our documentation. Do you find that to be so, or am I mistaken?
I mean, I usually spell it with an H, or excuse me, I usually spell it with a J.
Yeah.
But
The state law, when that came out, spelled it with a H. And that's why it's written as an H.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always spelled it with a J.
All right, well,
I'm not sure I've ever spelt it.
I guess it doesn't really matter that much then.
I know how to spell Mary Jane.
Pot.
There you go.
Okay.
Chris, thank you very much for bringing all this together for us. I certainly appreciate it, and I know this will be
Hopefully it's
very
kind of-
helpful.
It's a book of reading.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to receive and file the information from the other communities until additional members of the planning commission are here to discuss it.
Motion by Helmuth,
Second?
Thank you.
supported by Johnson. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none. We'll move on to 9C, suggested changes to the master plan. I read this, and I found that there was only one on there that I had sent you, but the other two will be looked at under the transportation plan, but
Sure, and I don't know, I think based on what we talked about with these other two issues, this is very important.
yes.
This is a compilation of all of the comments that we've gotten over the past month and a half that would make substantive changes to the master plan, and I think we need, for each one, a thumbs up or thumbs down from the planning commission, and I think we need closer to the full commission to do that.
I think you need a majority
Yeah.
on the vote when
I
it
think
comes
if we were to
to
do it
recommending.
here, we'd need a unanimous vote on anything from you four.
Right.
So that we could say we know we have a majority. I don't think it's worth it. I think having the rest of the group here is more important. That said, that means we have to do it at the next meeting otherwise we have to delay the public hearing on the master plan.
Okay, so we'll review this document also when there's better attendance at the next planning commission meeting. I'll look for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we again set aside item 9C, which is suggested changes to the master plan, until our next meeting. And I would also ask that that item be moved up in priority so that perhaps it may be the first item we discuss, so that we make sure we get it complete because of the importance of getting it done right now.
I'll support that.
Okay, motion by Douglas, support by Helmuth. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. We'll move on. We have no new business. Public comment, agenda and non-agenda items. Anybody in the public have any comment?
Come on, General, you got anything?
Seeing none, we'll move on to the consultant comments.
I have nothing further this evening.
Okay. Commissioners' comments. We'll start with Mo.
Did McKenna happen to write Berkeley's zoning ordinance?
I don't think so.
Did anyone see the news last night? Berkeley's having trouble with their,
Oh, I did know that, I do know it's not our company, and I'm not actually sure who it is, but you're talking about form-based code?
yeah, they had all these townhouses thrown into these residential districts, and people are freaking out, and they want them to, so they put a moratorium on it. They had all kinds of signatures. I mean, it was kind of ugly, I guess.
Yeah, I read an article about that a little while back. Again, it's not our office, but it's, sounds to me like they did a lot of they basically shifted the category in the master plan from single family to multiple family for a big chunk of the city without a lot, and which was supposed to be sort of so in this broad area, we would expect a smattering of multiple family to replace some of the single family. And people are looking at it and saying, multiple family is going to replace everything in there. So, I mean, I can't speak to that's all I saw. I just saw an article, you saw it on TV, so.
Yeah, the
I can't
news
speak to any more
wasn't
specific
very
than that.
clear.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie LaDuff didn't really know what he was talking about. But they were showing the people, and they had a map of the people who'd signed the petitions and who'd signed the online petitions. And it was just kind of crazy. And then, Joe, can you just send an email out to everybody who wasn't here tonight, letting them know the importance of the next meeting? Just
Yeah,
to
that
see
would
if
be
we can try to get
Sure.
7.
That would help.
And that would be all my comments.
Actually, speaking of the next meeting, is the next meeting August 2nd?
Oh, that's an election. I will not be here.
Oh, man.
We had hoped to have the planning commission the master plan public hearing that night.
You probably have to postpone the
Postpone that,
public
do that
hearing
in
for,
September and do the,
yes.
Because you probably won't be here on the 2nd, will you, Jack? I mean,
I shouldn't be, but I will be.
I'll be trapped at a precinct, so I won't be here.
Polls, no, I could be here. The polls close at what, 8 o'clock? Yeah,
I mean, I think you guys know my concerns, and I can obviously email any questions I have.
okay.
If you guys want to do it without me, I won't be offended.
Well, let's get a flavor of who's going to be here, Joe, and then we'll try and continue to work on the schedule to have our public hearing on the 16th. But if we have to cancel the 2nd and move it to the 16th, then you'll have to cancel the public hearing.
which has
that's
not
scheduled.
been noticed yet.
You haven't notified anybody yet. I shouldn't say we'll cancel it, move it out to the next meeting.
Which would be the day after Labor Day. Comfortable with that?
That's all right, school starts.
Okay.
Okay,
I think it would be hard to cancel the meeting the whole second. It's not vacations, elections. Like I say, you want to have all 7 members here.
right.
Yeah, to make those master plan decisions.
Master plan review on the 16th then, and we'll consider moving the public hearing out to the next meeting. Okay,
Michael as well on the 16th.
Cancel the August 2nd.
so is that going to happen then?
I think you can probably still do the meeting on August 2nd. Is anybody going on vacation?
I'll be here.
I'm here.
I'll be
And,
here.
check with John and Bonnie and Gary and
Yeah.
see if they're all going to be here. I will not be here. I'll be,
So, their goal is to have all 7.
Right.
but, 6 of the 7, I mean, I'm very comfortable with the language for the outdoor dining and the marijuana. Nothing's going to happen on that for a while anyway. And I'll get my comments on the,
Okay,
do it for you've got Dave Wackel on the 2nd. Is that the one you're worried about? Okay.
well, Mr. Douglas?
Mr. Young, is it proper or appropriate for me to discuss the issue with the commercial kennel on Lincoln Street? Is that a proper,
If you want to make a comment on it.
ZBA from the other evening, you can report on it too.
so what I want to do is I want to tie that together to the inadequacy of the current regulations governing commercial kennels inside the village. And so would the review of those, that ordinance be appropriate to start here, or is it done through another body?
I'll start here. You would request as the ordinance to be reviewed,
Sure.
and then it would get on the agenda to review it.
Are you familiar with this issue?
I watched the tape last night.
Part of the challenge of living in the southwest quadrant here is that everybody seems to know I'm on the planning commission now, and so my neighbors come to me and tell me about things that I didn't know anything about.
21 Lincoln Street.
21 Lincoln Street. Someone has been, the owners there have been apparently running a commercial kennel for extended period of time, and I think it's gotten perhaps out of hand, and the neighbors are complaining for the obvious reasons. You know, it's noise and nuisance and smell. And so apparently, the owners were came before the zoning board to look for
An interpretation.
okay, and apparently, the current ordinance for this is very vague. It says that 3 or more and you're operating a kennel, and you can't do that inside the village. And so, you know, and that's about all it says. It defines what a kennel is, essentially. Is that correct?
Well, it defines the kennel, but then it says commercial kennels can only be in
Yeah.
C2 district.
C2.
Right.
It defines
Doesn't
the
say
word,
about non-commercial.
yeah, exactly. It
Well, why
defines the
don't-
word kennel. And it defines the word kennel basically as anyone with 3 or more animals.
Why don't we do this?
Then you
Why
use
don't
the
we
word
get that up for review then, if that's a request from,
I'd like to see that.
I'll put together something that describes what the current situation is and then the questions before us as we try to fix it.
Sure. Because I think the intent is, I'm sure, is that they're trying to limit the number of commercial kennels that would be inside the village limit, and restrict them to a location with proper zoning, and to make sure that people have a reasonable amount of animals on their property. But the fact that this went on so long, and you know, people were unhappy about it, it gives me some concern, because I know dogs are always a big issue in the village.
The problem was that it was not clear whether they were a commercial kennel or just people with a lot of dogs. The ZBA made a firm decision that they were a commercial kennel, and therefore the dogs have to be moved. So,
Okay.
but we don't want to send everyone with a few dogs to the ZBA to ask
Right.
where on the spectrum they fall. We need to make that
Right.
more clear.
okay,
That's the end of my comments, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to wait till mine for last, because I can tie mine into item 13A.
I emailed Chris and Joe earlier today, and thank you for your response. One of my big priorities for me is the semi-traffic in the residential neighborhoods. And your response said that there is not any current funding for that project. How can we progress? How can we make something happen? I mean, what can we do? Is there anything that we can do?
Are you speaking of a bypass?
Yeah.
Okay.
The road south of Marketplace.
Right, I'm sorry, yes. I mean, it's a great, it
It's
is,
extension of Minnetonka, I suppose.
it is needed, the village, the residents want it, and on the east side, what's the next step? I'd hate to see this stall and not go anywhere.
Well, I can tell you currently, the township, when that property sold, was deeded the easement rights to put that roadway in. So while we own no roads in the township or village, the village has responsibility for their roads. So somehow or another, if you want to move, you'd have to first get easements through there. Is it easemented yet or not? And then bring it up in front of council to propose the costs and whether or not they want to move forward with it. Or at least get it included in the master plan.
Yes, in the current draft of the master plan, it's in the master plan.
Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. Young.
I'm just going to comment that regarding the funding, past years we've talked about an extension of a road that could be considered for an economic development grant. Cleveland was looking to go there, we picked around that idea, apply for a grant. So the village doesn't have the money, and apparently the developer, property owner doesn't have the money. what other options there are, but those are some possibilities. But getting in the master plan would be first thing. Getting another party willing to participate or meet the qualifications for a grant, it's got to be there for, business, industry, commercial expansion. Sort of a qualified grant.
Yes, Maureen?
Adam, do you think that road would lessen traffic at Glassby and Burdick?
Absolutely.
Because I personally think it would increase. Traffic
If
at
it's
Glassby and
limited,
Burdick.
if it's more an issue of semi-noise and semi-noise and semi-noise, they start at 4:30 in the morning. They go after 9:30 at night. You cannot have a conversation on your front lawn. Right now, they drive through residential areas, and it's a safety issue too. There's blind turns right there on Glassby and Burdick that they take going east on Burdick and then heading south on Glassby. So if they got a green light, they just haul right through.
Right.
So that's a safety concern, a noise concern. And it drives by parks, baseball parks.
I absolutely understand.
And, well-
I don't know that it would lessen that.
Well, it doesn't necessarily lessen the traffic, it'll lessen the semi-traffic if we put some sort of verbiage in there that designates no through commercial traffic.
So in answering your comment, it is addressed in the new master plan. Joe, you have no money to do it. I mean, it's one of those things that'd be nice to do, but unless somebody wants to try and chase a grant, and
I'm more than willing to help, so.
you have a volunteer. Anything else?
I'm sorry, I don't want to beat this
You want to redo?
horse.
Okay, go ahead.
Adam, I'm curious, I'm looking at my map now, so I'm fully cognizant of the area we're discussing. And I'd like to fill me in just a little bit on like what your hope is or what your intent is or how you see this making a difference. Because right now I'm leaning with Mo and I need to hear what you're
Right.
thinking because maybe I don't understand.
So right now, all the traffic goes, well, not all the traffic. In
What
the-
traffic? What traffic?
The semi-commercial traffic, the gravel trains.
Right.
That'll go north. I'm specifically talking about the commercial gravel trains.
Okay.
They start at 4:30 in the morning going north, typically.
Okay.
They'll head north on Glassby, head west on Burdick, then cross up onto M24. So, and at night, in the evening, that same semi-gravel train traffic will come south on M24, head east on Burdick, and then go south on Glassby
Where are they going?
to TKMS,
Yes.
And they're located over here somewhere?
industrial.
On Glassby.
425 Glassby. So they're right about here.
Oh, I see, okay.
So it would definitely affect TKMS.
Well, the proposed cut-through drive would pretty much put their gravel trains in their back lot. So it might even benefit them.
Is that really the only gravel, basically, the majority of the gravel trains that go past your place?
That's all TKMS.
Okay.
It's,
They come out right behind them.
at 5:30 in the morning, I saw 4 trucks within 5 minutes.
They have 33 at least.
Yeah, and they're just driving back and forth, it's, I mean, I understand a lot of the people can't really grasp how much traffic there is, and how much noise is generated and how much just debris is generated. If you want a personal tour of it,
I grew up on Seymour Lake
Yeah,
Road.
yeah.
I'm very familiar
I
with the
think we've
gravel
captured
trains.
your comment.
Yeah.
We've captured your comment. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to do my comments. The Township of Oxford, the board approved a water usage charge increase at the last township board meeting. The Oakland County Water Resources Commission recommended the Oxford Township increase the water usage charge from $1 to $1.30 per 100 cubic feet after the base charge of 1,500 cubic feet of water. So the motion was passed July 1st to increase the water rate on the excessive over the base charge. Secondly, we approved preliminary site plan for North Oakland Woods, and that is on Drainer Road and Bar Road on the southeast corner of the township. And that's a 28-home SF2 Suburban Farms condominium plot, if you will. When I say condominiums, it's an association that'll plow their roads, an association that'll maintain their roads, and they'll have their own deal going on down there. But we did approve preliminary site plan. And the Regional Transit Authority, the Township Board approved a memorandum that we do not support the Regional Transit Authority millage that's being proposed for the southern end of our county. Those are the three items that I can report out. Anything else? If you have any questions, I'll take them, but
The village did also approve the same resolution.
good. If there's nothing else, I look for item number 14.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:31 PM.
Exactly.
Second.
Motion by Helmuth, support by Johnson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.